Based on this being private property.
It's not. It's public. Actually.
It's not.
It is public. It's owned by the city.
That doesn't mean it's open to the public, especially right now.
It's part of the park, which is why it's open to the public.
81009 is the Florida statute for trespass. I'm aware of it. Are you? Do you know who owns this property? It's open until midnight. I have the right to be here.
I think I should have been a firefighter.
Yeah, I think you should have too, because you as a cop.
He has asked you to leave already.
3 times.
Right.
That's a warning. So you've already been warned and you're still here. You can be arrested for that. I don't want to have to arrest
This is
you.
public property. This guy's threatening me. Would you please call your supervisor? Would you mind doing that?
Yeah, I'll do that. What,
On October 20th, 2024, Clearwater Police responded to a soccer stadium adjacent to Ruth Eckerd Hall in Clearwater, Florida. A woman identified as Christine Scott had entered a fenced area on city-owned property and refused multiple requests to leave. The footage raises 4 distinct legal questions: the validity of the trespass charge, the lawfulness of the arrest, the post-arrest search, and the right to counsel.
it's my understanding this gentleman's asked you to leave. Is that a problem?
I don't think I have to.
Yeah, you do have to.
Based on what?
Based on this being private property.
It's not. It's public.
It's
Actually,
not.
It is. It's owned by the city. It's
That doesn't mean it's open to the public, especially right now.
It's part of the park, which is why it's open to the public even right now.
Not this area. This area is clearly fenced in.
The fence was open so that you could get in. And I've worked here on several nights. The security guy knows that I come here and work, and it's never been an issue.
I understand that. It might have been okay in the past. Can I see your ID real quick?
I don't have to show it to you. And why?
If you leave right now, you don't have to show it to me. He's asked you to leave, so technically you've already...
The authority.
He does.
I run the building.
He does have the authority.
What's your... I thought you said you were the tech guy. That sounds
I'm the
right.
technical director. I run the building.
You don't need to.
Listen, ma'am, just talk to me.
He
Just
doesn't need
talk.
to get aggressive, and he's even
He's not
saying
getting- he's not getting
he just said,
aggressive.
I'm getting aggressive.
He's not getting
He
aggressive.
is, but he's not supposed to.
Will you listen to me?
We might need to call your
Listen very
supervisor.
carefully to what I'm saying. He has warned you. I'm recording too. It's okay.
Braniff, Braniff.
Yes, ma'am. He has asked you to leave already.
3 times.
Right.
That's a warning. So you've already been warned and you're still here. You can be arrested for that. I don't want to have to
This
arrest
is
you.
public property. This guy's threatening me. Would you please call your supervisor? Would you mind doing that?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you very much.
is not-
Let's do
Okay.
that now. Say it again. It's public property. You're mistaken.
Okay, hey sir, can you
are
can you go see
mistaken.
if the other units
Thank
there?
you very much.
Okay.
I appreciate it. I'm sorry
right.
we're having this disagreement or
Yeah,
this
it's okay.
a difference of opinion on
It's
it.
okay.
I know it is public property. I know that if you look it up, you'll see that it's public property.
No.
This is closed. You can tell it has a lock on it, not going in, kind of like the library, right? But this isn't. And there's a
So
huge
if the library's
difference
doors
there.
are locked, if the library's doors are locked and you go inside and you refuse to leave, is that trespassing in your mind?
See, this isn't locked. This
That's
isn't
not
inside.
what I asked you. That's
You're
not what I
you're not
asked you.
comparing apples to apples. You're comparing apples.
Hey, sir, I got it.
Thank you. So this isn't like that because this is part of a public park that's open until midnight. So there's a huge difference there. This is outside. I'm not like going into a closed place, right? This is open and there's nothing that says they can't be here. We know it's part of the park. We legitimately
Listen,
know
it's
that.
very
Amphitheaters
important.
and other parts of the
Okay, it's time for
state.
you to listen. I've been listening now. It's time for you to listen. It's very important
Hi.
that you do what I tell you, okay? It's very important that you follow commands. Now turn around, face that way, put your hands behind your back.
Why?
Don't fight. Do not
I'm
fight.
not fighting.
You've been warned multiple times. I've given you multiple chances to leave, and you will not do it. This gentleman has authority.
I'm sorry.
You could have walked away. but you
I
wanted
asked him to call a
argue.
supervisor.
We don't need a supervisor, ma'am.
He said that he would call a supervisor.
We don't need a
And so I
supervisor.
was waiting for him to call a supervisor.
No, you leave when you're told to leave.
Florida Statute. Section 8 to 10.09 defines criminal trespass on property, other than a structure, as willfully remaining after being warned to depart by an authorized representative of the owner. 3 elements must be satisfied. The area must not be open to the general public. At the time of the offense, an authorized representative must issue a clear warning, and the subject must willfully refuse to depart. The statute does not require posted signage. The warning itself is the legal trigger. What it does require is that the property be legally closed to public access at the time. This is the central dispute. Scott argued the fenced soccer field was part of Coachman Park, a city-owned public park open until midnight. The technical director claimed exclusive authority over the space under a contractual arrangement with the city. Neither party produced documentation on camera. Florida courts have distinguished between enclosed structures and outdoor areas that are functionally open as part of adjacent public property. Whether this fence field falls on the restricted or open side of that legal line is a genuine threshold question, one that determines whether probable cause for the arrest existed at all. At 3 minutes and 17 seconds, Officer Braniff initiated the arrest. Before examining whether it was lawful, one procedural fact demands attention. At 32 seconds on the body cam, Braniff explicitly agreed to call a supervisor when Scott requested one. Scott remained on scene specifically in reliance on that agreement. Braniff then arrested her 2 minutes and 45 seconds later without the supervisor present. Florida law does not require officers to summon supervisors before making an arrest. However, Braniff's agreement created a reasonable expectation in Scott that enforcement action would be deferred. A court evaluating whether her continued presence constituted willful refusal to depart would be entitled to consider that expectation. The Fourth Amendment requires probable cause for a warrantless arrest. If the property's legal status under the Trespass statute is ambiguous, that ambiguity directly undermines the probable cause determination. A supervisor review on scene could have resolved this before arrest.
Or this happens.
Well, actually, I think you have to call your supervisor.
No. This
Would
is
you
my,
please call your
I mean,
supervisor?
where's my badge?
What you told me you were going to
No.
call your supervisor, and I was waiting for you.
Look
to do
at,
that.
like, I don't, like, what is wrong with, like, the way you're acting? Like, now you're going to jail. Have you ever been in jail before?
Yeah.
It sucks. You could have just walked away. Everything could have been fine.
Why didn't you just call your supervisor? Why did you
What does that
lie
have
to
to do
me
with
and tell
anything?
me you were going to call your supervisor when you didn't?
Damn, none of that matters.
Yes, it does matter.
You're
You
told to
have
leave,
protocol, and
I'll
you
take
have
her.
to follow
Grab her
it.
stuff. Come on, let's walk.
Oh,
How
105,
about my
one adult,
stuff?
female, 1015.
You don't want. You don't go through our stuff. You don't have permission
Well,
to
we don't do that. Come on,
go through it.
come on, come on. Be careful going down the stairs, please.
Uh-huh.
We're going through it, so it's irrelevant. Just walk down the stairs. Come on.
What's your name?
Hartman.
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 I want you to
Hartman.
call your supervisor.
After Scott was handcuffed, Officer Hartman conducted an inventory of her personal belongings. Scott objected continuously, claiming the officers had no right to search her property. The law does not support that objection. The Supreme Court established in Illinois versus Lafayette in 1983 that inventory searches of an arrestee's personal property are a recognized exception to the Fourth Amendment's warrant requirement. The purpose is administrative, to catalog items, prevent theft claims, and identify hazards. The search requires no consent from the arrestee. On this specific issue, the officers acted within established constitutional parameters. The most serious constitutional concern in this footage emerges at 9 minutes and 48 seconds when Scott states unambiguously she wants a lawyer. She repeats this demand multiple times over the following minutes. The Supreme Court held in Edwards versus Arizona in 1981 that once a suspect invokes the right to counsel, all interrogation must cease until an attorney is present or the suspect voluntarily reinitiates communication. Officer Braniff continued asking Scott for her middle name, social security number, and date of birth after her attorney invocation. These are not passive identification checks, they are interrogation questions. Florida's Stop and Identify framework requires a person to provide their name upon lawful arrest. Scott had already provided a photo ID. The demands for additional personal data exceeded that statutory threshold. Braniff's threat to add an obstruction charge for Scott's refusal to supply her social security number and middle name reflects a misapplication of Florida Statute Section 843.02, which addresses physical obstruction, not refusal to answer interrogation questions. The continued questioning after a clear and repeated attorney invocation represents a potential Sixth Amendment violation under Edwards versus Arizona. This is the most legally significant error in this footage.
You promised me you would.
We're going to the car.
You told me you were calling your supervisor. I was waiting for you to call your supervisor.
Let's go this way. It's fine. You don't need to. We don't need a supervisor. No.
Yeah, you do.
We don't.
You're
I've been doing this for
obligated.
10 years. Today's my 10th year.
Happy anniversary.
Thanks. 10th year.
This
Today.
is public land.
I just want to eat my public sandwich, and I have tried 3 times, and I haven't. And I have a bag of M&Ms, and I haven't had sugar all day long.
What you care
And
about.
I care about the
understand
M&Ms.
what
I
you care
do.
about.
I know.
I care that you didn't call your supervisor.
Okay, well, I don't have to.
That's a difference of opinion, isn't it?
Well, it's a fact. Hugo.
Well, I was under the impression that you do have to. And you know what? He told me he was going to.
Okay, well,
So why would he tell me he's going to?
he's a newer officer. I'm a senior
waiting.
officer, and I'm telling you no.
Yeah, but you arrested me based on something that he said he was.
That's
he
called
was going
good
to call
faith.
a supervisor.
Oh my gosh, there's mosquitoes in here. Let's go this way.
So he lied to me.
No, you just
So that you could arrest me?
No.
Oh my God.
You're wild.
Seriously.
Ma'am, this is
I'm
this
what?
is
I'm wired?
this is way too much. This is you're wild.
I'm what?
This is way too much for all this. You could have just left.
No, you could have just
Here's the
called your
difference.
supervisor like you said you were going to.
I didn't even hear any of that, and it doesn't matter.
Well, he did, and he should have told
You're
you.
not his boss.
You need
He's
to
a
call
big-
your
he's an adult.
supervisor. You're an adult too. I'm asking you to
Oh.
call your
No,
supervisor.
you don't need a supervisor.
Yes, I do need you to call a supervisor.
what?
Is that a supervisor?
No, that's Sunstar.
That's what?
That's Sunstar.
Would you please call your supervisor?
Ma'am, I don't know why you want to work with a supervisor.
I'm searching you.
I'm not used to people grabbing my boobs.
I didn't grab your boobs. I'm searching you.
Well, you need to tell me when
Okay.
you're putting your hands on my chest.
Right now. You're under arrest.
I understand. Oh,
Okay.
you told me you were going to call your supervisor.
Hey.
Everything. Because I was waiting for
Hey,
you
come on.
to contact your supervisor.
Let's have a seat.
You said he was coming or she was coming.
I'll
I'm
see
supposed to be
you
able to take your word for it.
Thank
And I
you so
can't.
very
Why?
much.
I know that was a joke.
Ha ha
Funny,
ha
right?
ha. Please sit down. There's just too many words. Thank you.
You did good.
Yes.
It could have, like, all you had to do was just leave.
All you had to do was call your supervisor and see if I needed to leave. But you don't want to do that. You want to play games. This guy is out of control. Now he's going through my stuff without my permission. His name is Braniff, B-R-A-N-I-F-F. Her name is Hartman.
Right. Let's make sure the AC
I
is
want you to
on.
call your supervisor. I have not violated the law.
Yeah, I got that part.
That is, oh, well, then you shouldn't have arrested me. This is a false arrest.
No, I mean, I got the part about the supervisor.
Then why didn't you do it?
Look, I need...
You
your
refused to
information.
call your supervisor when I asked you to. Now he's going through my stuff. Braniff is going through my stuff. How rude. And he's laughing as he pulls out my stuff. He doesn't have the right to search me. He doesn't have the right to go through my stuff. I ate all my almonds and I keep the baggies, and so he's looking at the baggies that I tie in a knot after I eat them. So this is not a violation for the statute 810.09.
Hey, man, will you give me your name?
I'd like you to call your supervisor.
Okay, you have to give me your name. If you don't give me your name, I'm going to charge you with obstruction.
My name on that ID that you just picked up. It has my
Where's
name
your...
on
Do
it.
you have a photo ID?
Just rummage through my belongings without my permission. You have no right to go through my stuff. She's hoping. It's almonds! You can tell her it's
Christine
almonds.
Scott?
I keep the bags. I have given you my I didn't actually give it to you. You took never going through my stuff. You guys are terrible. If his supervisor can hear this, I have asked for a supervisor and I expect the supervisor to show up. It's a chain of command and he has an obligation when a person asks him for a supervisor. And I asked that lady Hartman, are you guys police officers or detectives? What are you, police? He's a police officer. So she's an officer going through my glasses and everything are ranks. I don't answer questions from cops, especially ones that won't call their supervisor. But you might need to.
Okay, I'm going to charge
here's
you.
a thought.
I'm going to charge you with obstruction.
You
more
have an ID
charges.
in your hand.
I
I
don't-
am not obstructing.
That is not you. That picture right there, that is not who, maybe like 30 years ago. I'm asking for your identity. You have to give me that. You're under arrest.
I don't know. I want.
Are you
I
kidding
want
me?
my lawyer.
Are you kidding
I
me?
want my lawyer. I'm serious, and I want my lawyer. I want you to call your supervisor. I'm not kidding you. You have an obligation.
I don't answer questions from the cops, especially ones that have illegally arrested me and won't call their supervisor. You have a chain of command. If I ask you to call your supervisor, you're obligated. And I asked Hartman to call her supervisor as well.
Do you have a middle name?
Neither of these people will call.
Do you have a middle name?
I told you I want a lawyer. I don't have to talk or say anything after I've asked for a lawyer. That's the law. You've arrested me.
You have to identify yourself.
You have my ID in your
This,
hand.
I don't know that this is you.
This guy has his ID in my hand. You put this here.
I don't
so
know
they
that this
just
is
keep me
you.
recording.
And this
I
name
know-
that it says on here is Christine Scott. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, but there's probably 20 Christine Scotts within 5 miles of us.
Did I tell you?
You did not
that
give me
I
your
asked
social. You
for
did not give me a middle
lawyer?
name. You did not give me your address.
You did not?
I'm charging you with obstruction.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I will.
No kidding. You're not very nice. I want
I tried
your
to be nice.
supervisor. He's a couldn't hear me, close the door, but he is a. There's no sign that says I can't be there. This is a false arrest, if you want to play that way. This is false imprisonment. You don't have the right. This is a public park. How horrible are you?
Not horrible.
Horrible!
I say not horrible.
Yeah, well, so does the devil. There is nothing here, no sign that says I can't go in there. This is a false arrest. That's what this is. Understand what that ramification is. That guy had no authority, and you don't have the authority to do this either. 81009 is the Florida statute for trespass. I'm aware of it. Are you? Do you know who owns this property? It's open until midnight. I have the right to be here. You have me under false imprisonment right now, and she's stealing my stuff. And you're threatening me and refusing to call your supervisor. You are the devil. I have not violated it. He does not have the authority here.
Is that just her, that meal ID? Does it
Yeah.
have a birthday on it?
No.
Christine,
Call
is she an ACES at all?
Your
There's
supervisor.
a Christine Scott.
And, oh,
I've been going through.
False arrest.
fake news.
No, that's real news.
Fake news.
Really?
Yes.
No sign says I can't be there. Not a one.
Okay.
And this park is open till midnight.
Is there,
False arrest.
that's not a part of the park?
Yes, it is.
No, it's
it
not.
absolutely
Why
is.
do you think there's
the
babies?
Ruth Eckerd Hall contracts with the park and with the city. It is most certainly part of the look-up planning and look-up zoning. It is.
I've been
too.
here since the ground broke at this park.
I don't care.
Well,
That doesn't mean it's not part of the park. It
Yes,
just
it
means that you're
does.
ignorant to the law on this fact. That's all, Miss Stealing My Stuff. I'm glad you think that's funny. I
did
don't.
you know the Yankees are going to the World
I
Series?
can care less.
Have you been to the Pinellas County Jail before?
I don't answer questions.
Just answer questions.
I already asked for a lawyer.
Are you Christine Ray
I asked
Scott?
for a lawyer. I
Oh,
want
super.
a lawyer.
Tall one at the jail.
And once I ask you for a lawyer, you need to stop asking me questions.
We're trying to
You're
determine your
violating my
identity.
rights. This
No,
is
we're
false
not.
imprisonment.
You are exhausting.
You gotta be
You are
kidding
the-
me.
Like, I haven't had someone as
I
exhausting
don't
as you.
care.
I know you don't.
I don't care for you at all. You are ignorant, in my opinion, of the law on this matter, and you are violating my rights, and you're wasting my time when I've got stuff to do.
I got stuff to do
I
too.
could care less.
Well, I
This
don't care
is-
about your
Well,
stuff.
you're
then.
wasting my... Oh, really?
What?
No kidding.
Oh, kidding.
You've been on the force for 10 years? I'm going after your pension
Can't.
because this is a violation of your oath.
No, it's not.
Oh, I know you don't
That's
care about
definitely-
it, sweetie.
I didn't
It's
say I
obvious.
didn't care. I just said it's not.
It's just like Christine Scott.
Just put her in
like,
there as Jane Doe. Forget it. And put in alias as Christine Scott. She wants to play
I've never
hardball.
done a Jane Doe.
I'm not playing hardball. You
That's the new
are.
affidavit,
You
right?
have me illegally cuffed. You're
Yeah,
illegally arresting me.
just
This is a
literally
false
say-
imprisonment.
Damn.
And you're refusing to call your supervisor when you have a legal obligation. What is wrong with you?
What do you need a supervisor for?
I told you I want, because you're violating the law and you don't have the right to, and you need to contact your supervisor about it, and you're refusing. You're a problem. He tells me he's going to call a supervisor, and then when I'm waiting for a supervisor, he arrests me like a total setup, and you should
Whoa.
never have done that. I didn't say I wouldn't
just leave all
leave.
this
I said
blank?
call your
Just leave all the
supervisor.
blank. That's the jail's problem.
Citizenship.
Shoot, dang it.
Citizenship is required. It's an odd.
This is false imprisonment.
Hey, are you busy?
I will sue you for false imprisonment, for stealing my stuff.
There is nothing here that says I can't go there. There's no sign. You're tyrannical. You said you were going to call your supervisor and then you arrested me. You lied to me. You made me stay thinking you were going to call your supervisor so that you could turn around and arrest me. You're horrible. Did you call your supervisor?
I did. What's your birthday?
It's about time.
What's your birthday?
Where's my lawyer?
That's not required on scene. If you knew and weren't ignorant, you would know that a lawyer's not required on scene as a part of
I
police
don't work for the government.
procedures.
I'm just a citizen.
Yeah, you don't have a lawyer. The judge appoints a
Christine,
lawyer.
now you have to tell me your birthday because I kept my end of the deal.
Oh.
No deal. It wasn't a deal. It was an obligation.
Oh,
You have an
God.
obligation.
You have an obligation to give me a birthday because you're under arrest. Yes!
What? No.
Let's
What's the
go!
statute? What's the statute? Show me the law.
She's got a point there. She's got a point there.
You can't win the
Christine.
word game with me, Christine. I've been playing it for a decade.
What's the law that says that?
Okay, we'll charge you with obstruction for
You
refusing
already
to
said
cooperate
that.
with
I'm
an
clearly
investigation.
not worried about it.
Oh, I know you're not.
They'll drop it because I haven't
No.
obstructed anything.
You're obstructing my public sandwich.
Your public sandwich.
Yeah.
You're obstructing my constitutional rights, and you took an oath to uphold them. 876.05
You're
is the oath you took.
trespassing, which trumps your constitutional right when you violate the law, Christine.
What?
Shoot dang it.
Say that again.
Shoot dang it.
No, not shoot, dang it. The other stuff? I think you're wrong.
I'm not. You
Say-
can think a lot of things. Wish in one hand and think in the other and see which one fills up first.
Uh-huh.
Ha!
How's that working for you?
I'm here all night. I only provide facts.
No sign that says that I couldn't be there.
Christine, there doesn't have to be a sign. That man right there's a representative and he said go and you don't
How do you
listen.
know he's a representative?
He is. He
Does
works
he
here.
screaming at me?
Because he works here, Christine.
How do you know? Because he said so? There's no proof. I have no proof of that.
Okay,
He's
then I
just
guess
a nasty
you know what?
guy who's being aggressive.
You know what?
That means nothing to me.
You're winning nothing in the backseat in handcuffs. You realize that, right? You've won zero. You've won nothing.
I'm going to sue you.
You're not going to win that either.
Why? Because you're so you'll make sure it doesn't happen because that's the way you guys roll?
No.
Yeah?
Christine,
That is how you roll.
You know what I think? I think I should have been a firefighter. What do
yeah,
you
I think you should have too because you as a cop.
You just met me. What do you mean?
Yes, I know, and in this short period of time, I'm quite sure that you're a horrible police officer.
That is very rude, Christine.
No, it's accurate.
It's
and because
rude.
Well, my...
You're rude.
No, considering you illegally put me in handcuffs, it's not rude.
All
Considering
right.
that... It's not rude. Considering you didn't have
Yankees
the right
are going to the
to
World
arrest me,
Series for the
it's
first
not rude.
time since 2009.
You are rude. I don't like you.
You don't have to like me.
I know.
All right.
I'm sharing that and I feel better about it. And I don't like him either. He lied to me. He said he was going to call his officer and he didn't. He's a liar. And she's stealing my stuff.
Christine, I'm not stealing your stuff, bro. Chill out.
You know what? You have stolen my stuff and this is false imprisonment.
Christine.
So I don't really care what you have to say. It doesn't seem to
I
be
just need to know
based in reality and you are violating my
you feel
constitutional
the
rights.
need to be so angry at the world.
I'm not angry at the world at all.
You
but
are.
you seem to have some control issues and
I
you
don't,
are
Christine.
violating the law and you're not allowed to.
Christine.
Oh, you want to talk about control issues?
Yeah,
I have no control issues.
Christine.
Clearly
You
you
can't
do
control
and
yourself.
you're a liar pants also. He told me he was
You need to
going to
tone it
call
down.
a supervisor. He doesn't call a supervisor. He puts me in handcuffs while I'm waiting for a supervisor. Really nasty of him to do. He puts me in handcuffs when there's nothing that says I can't be there. Nothing. The park's up until 10. There is no sign anywhere that says you can't be there. I have a total legal right to be there. Just because some guy comes up to me,
Christine,
and says,
guess what?
you don't care.
No, the supervisor's here.
Oh, good.
Oh, good, Christine. But you got to give him your birthday. Otherwise, you can't talk to him.
I don't have to do anything. I asked for a lawyer.
You don't get a lawyer on scene. I've already
But
told
you asked
that.
for the supervisor.
You did. You didn't keep
I
your
know,
end of the
I
deal,
know.
Christine.
He's not a lawyer.
That was very. You didn't.
I know.
If we
Christine.
shook hands, Christine, that
I didn't
wouldn't
say
work.
he was a lawyer.
Christine, come on. You are way too old to be acting like this.
You're violating my constitutional rights. I don't think I have a legal obligation to discuss it with you, do I?
Okay.
This is illegal. This is an illegal arrest. He tells me he's gonna call you. I asked him to call you. He says I'm gonna call you, and then he arrests me. Doesn't call you. It's like, why would you do
Well,
that?
did he ask you to leave?
I said.
Hang on,
please
just
call
answer my
your
question. Did he ask you to leave?
I
Did
said,
they
call
ask you
your
to leave?
Supervisor.
Stop. Did he ask you to leave?
So what we're gonna do?
You're not going to answer my question?
Before I ask for a lawyer. Are you allowed to ask for questions?
I can ask
at
you.
this
I'm not
point?
asking you anything that can be used against you because you asked to speak with me as a supervisor. Anything that you talk to me can't be used against you because you've already asked for the time.
So I asked to speak to you,
I'm
not
asking
to
if you-
ask,
if you
not
were
to answer
asked to leave.
questions. That's not what I asked. I
You can
asked
put
to-
the window up. We're done.
There is nothing that says I
I don't know
couldn't
if that's
be
her.
here.
Are you doing Jane Doe?
There
Yeah.
is nothing
Okay. I don't
that
think that's
says I could not.
I'm just doing Jane
be
Doe
here.
alias Christine
I said,
Scott.
that is my
Is
ID.
Christine Scott in
I
her name?
said-
You put a window up. She's
That is
Yeah,
my
there's-
ID.
there's a ton.
I said that's
Here, I'll come
me.
on, Putty.
I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you.
Hey, Christine, I know you got a lot of
I'm
animosity,
going to sue you.
animosity
It's an illegal
towards me,
arrest. It's an
but
illegal
be nice
arrest.
to this other gentleman, okay?
Don't tell me what to do.
I'm
You
telling
just
you to be
illegally
nice. I'm
arrested
ordering
me.
you to be nice.
Throughout the encounter, Scott directed sustained verbal criticism at Officer Braniff, calling him a liar and a horrible police officer. Under the First Amendment, every word of it was constitutionally protected. The Supreme Court confirmed in City of Houston v. Hill in 1987 that speech directed at law enforcement, including profane and insulting language, is protected expression. Officers cannot lawfully arrest a person for verbal criticism. Braniff did not attempt to charge Scott for her speech. That restraint was legally correct and prevented what would otherwise have been an independent First Amendment violation. According to information presented at the conclusion of the source footage, Christine Scott was charged with criminal trespass under Florida Statute Section 8 to 10.09. Court disposition was not available at the time of this analysis. Based on the legal record, the charge faces a viable defense challenge. The ambiguity in the property's legal classification gives competent defense counsel a direct path to attacking the probable cause foundation of the arrest. A Section 1983 civil rights claim is also available to Scott if she can establish that the arrest was made without probable cause. Under Monell v. Department of Social Services, municipal liability could attach if the arrest reflects a pattern of constitutionally deficient enforcement. Officer Braniff receives a C+. The initial stop and warning were legally grounded. His use of force was proportional, and his composure was maintained throughout a prolonged verbal confrontation. These are genuine credits. However, arresting Scott immediately after promising to call a supervisor created a procedural defect that a defense attorney will exploit directly. More critically, continuing interrogation after repeated and unambiguous attorney invocations is a Sixth Amendment failure that is difficult to defend. Officer Hartman receives a B. The inventory search was conducted under lawful authority. The legal framework was followed. The deduction comes from professional conduct. Dismissive demeanor during a custodial inventory does not meet the standard of respectful property handling that the procedure exists to ensure. Christine Scott receives a C. Her legal knowledge was demonstrably above average. She correctly identified the trespass statute by number, invoked her Fifth and Sixth Amendment rights clearly, and understood that her speech was constitutionally protected. She did not physically resist arrest, the correct decision. However, the proper remedy for a disputed trespass warning is compliance, followed by civil litigation, not a 20-minute on-scene confrontation with patrol officers who lacked authority to rule on the underlying property law question. A Section 1983 claim filed after a lawful departure would have been far more powerful than anything accomplished on camera. The technical director receives a B+. His warning to Scott satisfied the statutory element under Florida Statute, Section 8 to 10.09, and his conduct remained nonviolent throughout. The deduction comes from his failure to clearly establish his authority over a space whose legal status was genuinely ambiguous. On-camera documentation of his credentials and the facility's contractual played relationship with the city would have removed the probable cause ambiguity entirely. 3 lessons apply across this encounter. First, when property status is legally ambiguous, arrest is a last resort, not a default. The trespass statute requires willful refusal to depart from a legally restricted space. When the restriction itself is contested, the probable cause analysis is unsettled. Officers operating in ambiguous property law situations should request supervisory review before making an arrest. Second, a verbal agreement to call a supervisor is not procedurally neutral. Once made, that agreement creates a reasonable expectation in the subject. Acting contrary to it, particularly by making an arrest, will be scrutinized in any subsequent Fourth Amendment challenge to probable cause. Third, invocation of the right to counsel is a hard stop. Under Edwards versus Arizona, questioning must cease upon a clear and unambiguous attorney request. It is not a request to negotiate. It is not a request to pause. It is a constitutional command to stop. Continued questioning after invocation creates suppression, exposure, and potential civil liability, regardless of the underlying arrest's validity. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content on police court interactions.